Welcome back, everyone. God, I'm dying. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the OSC King of the Hill, weekly number 180. That's a lot of weeks, Poppy. That's a lot of weeks of StarCraft. Welcome back to your weekly dose of King of the Hill StarCraft. I'm, of course, your Live VIP. With me, I'm joined by my plushies and these amazing players. Welcome to a very, very long night of StarCraft here. We have 15 players back to back to back. We're going to be duking it out to find out who is the King of the Hill. Who will be reigning supreme on top of that hill, spawning in the top right-hand corner of a dynasty. We have our Ukrainian Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Astronaut Esports. It is Night Phoenix. I almost said meow. I had to stop myself. God damn it. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, the reigning King of the Hill, representing himself, currently teamless. It is Cristiano. Let us go. Whew. And again, welcome everyone, welcome in the chat. Hope you've all been enjoying yourselves. Hope you're all getting ready for the week to come for Esports World Cup. EWC does begin tomorrow. In less than 24 hours, we have the best of the best duking it out in the Esports World Cup. But before that does occur, as we are going to be getting a bit of a pause here, but before we do get the EWC, we have plenty more StarCraft ahead of us. We have OSC King of the Hill, we have Code for Giants Cup, we have StarCraft. Beautiful. Beautiful, Bobby, beautiful. So we're just going to be jumping into our first game. For those that are curious as to the formats of this event, these are purely best of ones. Oh, I should also fix up the out of game races. There we go. These are purely best of ones. It's going to be a best of one between these two players. The winner stays on, the loser is eliminated, and then another will rise to take the loser's place. And we're going to go back and forth for 15 best of ones. And oh, oh my god. All right, we're good to go. Sorry, I was just panicking a little bit. Panicking a little bit, but here we go. Our players are back, our players are ready, and we are jumping back into our game. And if you're in the chat, oh, I should very quickly set this up. Predictions. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take this best of one. The predictions may even end before the game finishes. It's a best of one format, of course, so these matches can be very fast, very quick. Oh boy. Let's jump in. Also, I should set up the UI. I'd be wondering, who is Meow? What's going on? They're a cat? Yes. they are a cat girl. Can confirm. One moment. There we go, to make sure there is no confusion. Have our initial PvP, our first of many here tonight. Again, when it comes to these online tournaments, when it comes to events like OSC, when it comes to our own tournaments as well, even ESL Open Cups, PvPs are the go-to. We do have a sea of Protoss ahead of us, and we'll see if we can embrace a little bit of the other races. A little bit of Zerg, a little bit of Terran here and there. I'm hoping we can get to that point at some point here tonight. But now, we have our PvP. But now we're settling in. Again, we have a 2-gate opener out of Cristiano. Meanwhile, likewise, 2-gate opener out of Night Phoenix. We're going to be settling into our first game. Loading into Dynasty. Dynasty is an interesting one because we do have a pocket gold base that we can take advantage of. But for now, we're going to be expanding at the more natural location. We have our natural base here from Cristiano. Meanwhile, Night Phoenix will delay the expansion in favor of a Twilight Council. Okay, so faster tech, faster upgrades here for Night Phoenix. And we are sending out a lot across the map. The Stalkers and the Probe. And it looks like Night Phoenix is setting up for a one base all in. I was joking a little bit before when I was like, oh, yo, the predictions may close by the time the game ends. It's possible. I think the predictions did just close down. But here we go. The Probe is being sent out. Pylons being prepared as well. More Stalkers being sent across the map. And Night Phoenix is doubling down. We're going to be doubling down. Hallucination Scout is going to be coming into the main. We do confirm the Twilight Council. We get eyes on the third gateway. We get eyes on the lack of expansion. And now Cristiano knows shield batteries. we need shield batteries as soon as possible. We need defensive immortals as well. For now, sentries are under fire. We're going for the shield battery. And shield battery is going to be targeted down. Another Stalker is coming down from the high ground, and the shield battery will fall. That means no overcharge. We do catch a Stalker. We get another. Very nice force fields. Yeah, the force fields will lock down the Stalkers, and we will trade a 2-for-1. As reinforcements pop out, Night Phoenix has to back up, and we have a proxy 4th gate across the map. It's 3 gates back at home, and it's 1 gate across the map. 4 gates in total, so a 1 base, 4 gate blink all in out of Night Phoenix. Meanwhile, Cristiano is still building up, and thankfully, the Robo is done. Robo is done. Immortals are on the way. The Immortals are going to be the backbone of Cristiano's army. They're going to be the saving grace here to make up for the lack of Stalkers. Ooh, as we catch another Stalker. A very nice force field. And Night Phoenix has been bleeding out a little bit too much. That's 3 Stalkers going down already. 3 Stalkers already falling. Now, what's important about Blink, especially on this map, sure, we can threaten the natural, but because of this location here, we don't even need high ground vision, and we can blink right into the main, right past the defensive line of shield batteries and Immortals. So Night Phoenix will have more maneuverability available and can opt to try to bypass that front door. Speaking of, we have a shield battery in the main. Thankfully, Cristiano, he's aware of how vulnerable he is. We do have a backup shield battery in the main base. We do see Night Phoenix backing off for a moment here. Likewise, Cristiano does have a probe to scout. Very important. And oh, he's trying to get a read on what's going on. Trying to make sure he responds in time, and then we blink in. We blink into the main base, and Cristiano, he will rotate around just in time. The shield battery is ready. Shield battery is going to be targeted down, but it's going to cost us one of those Stalkers. Ooh, almost another. Cristiano forces back the main army. Shield battery is being replaced. We're even catching more of these Stalkers in the retreat. Cristiano shutting this down. Yeah, we're now up to 3 Immortals, and we are hitting critical mass. That's a lot of Immortals. And the downside here of going for this kind of style and going for this route, I mean, sure, you can bypass, you don't need high ground vision, but it takes so long to actually get into the main base, and we're giving Cristiano a lot of time. Here we go, we do depower the Robo. We can focus it down. Up, the Robo. The Robo is going to go down. We only have 3 Immortals, but that may still be enough. Oh my god. We're not going to get a 4th Immortal, but 3 Immortals still packs a massive punch. And Cristiano, he does force Night Phoenix back. You see Night Phoenix trying to split up his army, trying to hit both locations at once. Cristiano likewise pulling back. It does get in position in time. Robo is being rebuilt. Stalkers come back in once again, going for the pylon this time. And the gateways will be depowered. Blink to the low ground. Ooh, we don't quite have enough to one-shot. You can 2-shot Stalkers. Leading out another Stalker. And as time goes on, Cristiano has a better economy. As time goes on, it's getting better and better for Cristiano. Night Phoenix is running out of steam here. Once again, blinking into the main. If we can get into the mineral line, if we can focus on some probes, then we can try to tie this up and even things out. Blinking in. And, oh, we don't quite line up the shots, and we will get maybe one. Oh, not even. Not even. Yeah, not a single worker goes out at the same time we hit the natural, and Cristiano is being pulled apart a little bit. Shield battery does fall. Shield battery does fall, and finally some probes are going down in the natural. Finally, some economic damage. We get 8 probe kills, but Cristiano still has the worker lead, and we punish Night Phoenix so hard. And more Stalkers do fall. And I'm afraid to look, we've lost 24 Stalkers. Oh my god, throughout the course of this game. Cristiano has been all over this. And that's going to be shading into the main. But the wall is not up. We do get in. I'd have to say shade into the main base, so thread in the shade at least. Likewise, Stalkers blinking into the natural, or into the gold. And Night Phoenix is attempting to expand. I mean, it makes sense. At this point, we've lost far too much, and we cannot kill Cristiano. But can we buy time? Can we settle into a 2-base economy? For now, nice backstab here. The Stalkers are getting a lot of damage dealt. 5 probes go down. Stalkers will evacuate, and they will get the hell out of here. Behind the Slaves are on the way. Night Phoenix getting ready for 2-base play. Getting ready for a 2-base all-in. Now, the scary thing here is eventually Cristiano's going to move out. And when he does, that is 5 Immortals. Like, that's an insane Immortal count here in this kind of game state. So Cristiano, he can soon A-move. Now, what I will say, though, as Cristiano can move out across the map, he would be vulnerable, and Night Phoenix could try to go for a base trade. We could try to leave some Stalkers out on the map. As Cristiano moves out, we can go for a backstab, we can go into the main base, and if not force a base trade, maybe just force Cristiano back home and just delay the push. Delay the push for as long as possible, and allow the goal base to get up and running. The goal base is just now finishing, it needs a lot of time to really get going. Cristiano does move out, And here come those Stalkers. They got a lot of work to do, and it looks like Cristiano, we're waiting a little bit too long to pull the trigger here from Night Phoenix. Alas, the Stalkers are still lying in wait, and the army has arrived. Yeah, it's too late for these Stalkers. Now they're going in, but the army's already across the map. If it was halfway across the map, then maybe we could force Cristiano to turn around, but at this point, we have reinforcements. Sure, we're getting some probe kills, but at the same time, we are knocking down the gold. Oh, the Prism! Up! Not quite. The Prism will stand strong. GG gets called, and Cristiano will take game number 1. And maintain his crown on top of the hill. GG. GG, well played. Cristiano does take the first game of the night. As a reminder, it is a best of 1, and Night Phoenix may go down now, but it's possible that we could see a revive later on. You know, if we run out of players and a lot of players are traveling, we might bring Night Phoenix back on later on in the evening. But for now, Night Phoenix is going to be bowing out, and Cristiano claims that throw. GG. GG, well played. Cristiano will take the lead here, and the question becomes, who's up next? Who is up next? We have 15 best of 1s back to back to back to back lined up here for us. And I'm sure a multitude of players ready to jump in as well. Oh boy. Now, something that I should recognize as well, of course, is that the Esports World Cup is tomorrow, and a lot of players are traveling. So some of the top-tier players that we otherwise would see here in OSC King the Hill most likely won't be available. I'm referring to players like Max. Well, actually, Max would be available. Yeah, he's not traveling. True. he could show up. But Spirit is going to be traveling, and some of the other top-tier players as well. I do think Spirit is, I think, the most notable from the OSC regulars. Outside of some of the Koreans like Bjorn and Solar. True. They're also going to be traveling. So we most likely won't see them, but we could see plenty of others. Definitely could, so we'll keep an eye on the in-game chat channel. We'll see who comes up next. Here we go. So we are catching up. Oh, and we have our next opponent. Okay, it's going to be another PvP. Should not be a surprise here, but it is going to be a PvP between Cristiano and Azura, the Italian Protoss player. Do we just need a moment to set things up? Do we need a moment here? Bam. There we go. It looks like our players need a moment to settle in, and we're more than happy to give it to them. Just catching up in the chat. What's Meow's real name? Night Phoenix. Night Phoenix is a cat girl. Shaking my head. But a lot of Psycons in the chat. Hello, I see Kuro, I see Paul, Easy Phil as well. Welcome. I see Hatsu. Bienvenidos, Hatsu. Alex, welcome. Hope you've all been having a great time. And I hope you're all ready for the week to come as well. Like, EWC is going to be a full week of StarCraft. A lot of content, a lot of matches condensed into a very short time period. It's going to be pretty intense to try to keep up with all of it. But we'll do our best. Oh boy. As we're jumping into our next game. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will take this best of 1. Is spawning in the top left-hand corner of Oceanborn. We have our Italian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing himself, currently teamless, looking for a team. It is Cristiano. For those that are maybe unaware, Cristiano was on Starlight Twinkle for a season of WTL, the most recent season, but the World Team League round robin stage has concluded, and with the conclusion of the round robin stage, Starlight Twinkle did not make it into the playoffs, and Cristiano is now looking for another team, and honestly well deserving to be on a team as well. Cristiano has been improving a lot over the past year, and I would say he is solidly at least top 4 Protoss in Europe. just behind Max Pack, Showtime, and Skillus. I would kind of rate Cristiano and slot him in that position. He's been getting better and better results over the past year and has been improving so much. It's been quite impressive to see his growth as a player. I mean, a lot of players have been growing, especially in this online tournament setting. Not just Cristiano. We've had players like Nickrat, Shameless as well. A lot of these players have been rising the ranks. But Cristiano has had a lot more success as of late. So hopefully he does find a home. Also, upon saying the name, I just remembered that as well. I believe... let me just double check, actually. Momento. I was gonna go over like the list of players that are traveling to Esports World Cup, but it's a long list. it's a long list, man. It's a long list. But now we'll calm down. We'll calm down, we'll settle in. It's going to be a 2-gate opener all around. We do have double Adept out of Cristiano, and we have a Oh, we're going for an economic opener. Oh my god! Azura, calm down. It's going to be a gate expand out of Azura. This is going to be with a second gas, guys, as we can throw down the Stargate, but that is a Nexus before the tech. A very greedy build here out of Azura, and he's asking to be all in. Cristiano, though, is not going for it. Stargate opener. Okay. Oh, also my apologies. I will... There we go. I will fix up the nameplate. I do apologize. Nameplate is fixed. Again, Cristiano versus Azura. And as we are settling into this, what I was about to say is that Cristiano, upon scouting this, can respond with the one base all in, but as we can see, it is going to be a Stargate opener. This is designed to get economic damage. It means that Cristiano is expanding, as we can see here, is going for the expansion, is going for the natural, but his goal is to get some worker kills to make up for that. His base is going to be later, so Cristiano is behind in the economy, at least until the Adepts kick in, and the Oracles as well. So it's going to be on the Adepts and Oracles to get some economic damage and to wreak havoc across the map. Hallucination Scout comes in, and Azura will confirm. Very nice scout here from our Italian Protoss. Does confirm the build, does confirm the aggression. And Azura should be getting ready for the Oracle. Likewise, Adepts a shade in, but we have a shield battery. Oh, yeah, an ill-advised shade from Cristiano. One Adept goes down, 2 Adepts go down. Can we get a third? Oh, we might. Oh my god. that was a rhetorical question. I didn't think it would be, but there we go. 3 Adepts fall, big damage, and that means we're down to 1 Adept. And what does that mean? That means we cannot one-shot workers. Cannot one-shot units. As the Oracle does get some damage done, likewise Adept shades into the main. Adept does shade in. We got 6 probes in total, not 7 probes. Oh my god, not bad. Considering that we lost 3 Adepts, for 1 Adept we get 7 probes. Very nice damage. Cristiano turning water into wine here, and we're not done. Here comes a second Oracle. And we have no shield battery in the main base. A little bit greedy here from Azura. That means another probe is going to go down. Another 2 probes. Another 3 even, but oh, we do scratch a little bit too long. We're going to be sacrificing the Oracle. 12 probe kills. And just like that, Cristiano takes a worker lead. It's coming in once again with the other Oracle. Okay, this time we don't commit. This time we calm down. Overlay is right. Yeah, we fixed it. It's all good. We're on that, man. We're on. Ooh. As we do get a probe kill here at the 3rd base location, delaying the would-be 3rd. Meanwhile, Azura moving out. And we do have quite a hefty army. Bearing in mind that Cristiano lost all those Adepts, that means that does eat into his overall gateway army supply. Reinforcing with more Stalkers. Immortal production has begun for Cristiano. But here comes the move out from Azura. He is not expanding, not yet. Oracle hits the natural. Does distract Azura. Azura pulling away. Doesn't like what he sees. The Immortal does pop out just in time. And with the help of the Immortal, we should be okay. We should be able to hold. Say that the army does reveal itself. Immortal getting in position. Nice force fields. The Immortal's locked out. Here we look at the Immortal, but alas, we overwhelm the army, pump the overcharge, and we force a recall. Those are some beautiful force fields out of Azura, but it was not enough. They'll be the overcharge with the Phoenix. We shut down the push. Across the map, still no 3rd base. Cristiano does confirm. Delaying the 3rd once again, and he takes his own. Cristiano will expand, Azura falling back on Glaive Adept, so it's going to be Immortal Glaive Adept. This has been a very popular composition here amongst the Protoss scene in general. It's amongst the meta. Immortals and Glaives. Again, it's a very aggressive style, not really designed to get into a much longer game. And here comes that Gateway Explosion. And we're going to be doubling down with Mass Glaive Adept and Immortals. Meanwhile, Cristiano, he's a little bit behind when it comes to tech. The Twilight Council is still on the way, the Forge is still on the way, so we're working towards eventually Blink or Charge or Glaives of our own. Cristiano is still working towards that. As a result, Cristiano's stuck at home. He's stuck at home. He's been harassing with Oracles and Adepts. That is true. Has been harassing, but is going to be stuck at home and contained until he can get his more mobile unit composition up and running. And it is going to be Charge. +1 in Charge from Cristiano. Oracle dips in, confirms the third base. Gets 2 more probes. Not bad. 2 probes do go down. Getting a 3rd probe as well. 3 probe kills in between the bases. And again, we're just trying to keep Azura busy. I say that here comes that War Prism. War Prism's on the way. The gateways are up and running. Glaive's about to finish, and Azura is moving out. Azura, this third base is faked. I don't know if you realize, but we have not taken gases, and we have 0 saturation at the third. Azura has cut workers at 34 workers, and we're going for a massive all-in. And Cristiano's expanding. Uh-oh. Cristiano, he is expanding. Spending money elsewhere. We need an army. And we just don't have it. Not yet. Cristiano is going to be caught with his pants down. The Observer sees all. There's 1 Archon, there's 3 Immortals, there's Nova Charge. But we need more war pins. Nice revelation. We catch the Observer. Oh, but that's a massive army from Azura. And you thought I was macroing. The third base was fake. Overcharge is popped. Azura playing it slow. He does respect the overcharge. He's going to back off. The overcharge buys time. We have more war pins. We have more reinforcements. But we're warping in 6 adepts at a time. And it looks like Azura may have just caught Cristiano off guard. The boys are being pulled into Glaive Adepts of all things. That's how desperate Cristiano is. Likewise, the 4th base does complete, it does finish. And we're breaking through. Azura, he's snowballing out of control, busting through the front lines, getting on top of the Immortals, and getting on top of the Archons. And it looks like Azura just has too much. Again, Cristiano was getting ready for a longer game. It was getting ready for macro, but nah. It was 2 base all in. It was all or nothing, and Cristiano, he may be the reigning king of the hill, but Azura is here to knock him down. Takes out the Immortal, 1 Immortal left, GG gets called, and Azura takes the game 1-0. GG. My god. GG, well played. Azura with the upset, but it's PvP. It is PvP, and as a result, you can catch your opponent off guard. Mirror matchups specifically are very cutthroat. They are very cutthroat and very unforgiving as well. Cristiano, he didn't just take his 3rd, he fully saturated his 3rd base. He took a 4th base as well. Cristiano, the reason why he did this was because he scouted the expansion. He scouted the Nexus, right? He saw it coming ahead of time. He was like, okay, you're macroing. The answer is no. There was no macro. There was 0 saturation at the 3rd base of Azura. It was a fake 3rd base, and he did end up bamboozling Cristiano there. GG. GG, well played. GG, well played. And with that, we have our first of many upsets. And that's what I love about this tournament format. Even though 100% Cristiano was favored, he was the favored player here, it's a best of 1. It's 1 game. Anything can happen. Anything can and will happen. So with that, we are going to be switching servers over to the Americas region, and we're getting ready for our next PvP. Now, that is a bit of a tell. That is a bit of a spoiler in a sense, if you can piece it all together. If we're heading over to the Americas server, means that our opponent is from a different region. Oh boy. And it's going to be one of the heavy favorites. I mean, Cristiano was a heavy favorite. I would stand by that. And now we have another. Oh boy. Here we go. It is going to be a PvP between Nightmare and Azura. Let's go. Let us go. Gonna be catching up in the chat. How does one win King of the Hill? Is it one with the most wins that wins? So the way this works, and I mean, shout out to Eddie. Eddie's in the chat. Last man standing at the end of the day is the king. True, true. Last man standing. But likewise, you earn money depending on how many wins you get. So technically, a player that went on like a 6-game win streak will earn more money than a player that is left standing, in a sense. True. But the player that is left standing is invited into the next edition, the next rendition of OSC King of the Hill, which is what Cristiano was able to do. That's why Cristiano was the starting player. As a result, has a high chance to make a deep run and rack up more of that money and more of that cash. So that is how the format does unfold. And best of one, last man standing. It's a beauty contest. Ah, true, true. It's how they win. Likewise, it looks like a new season has begun for OSC. Okay, for those that are curious, we do go through seasons of OSC events, and what that means is the map pool does update over time. The latter map pool is the same, don't get me wrong, and we do still incorporate them, but we do add some extra maps. For those that are curious, the way that process works and the way that we add extra maps to the map pool of OSC events is, I believe, via voting. OSC Elite players can kind of vote and kind of pick which maps they want to bring into the map pool and which maps they want to showcase and compete in again from seasons gone by. And as a result, the added maps are 2000 Atmospheres, Cosmic Sapphire, and Eternal Empire. Wow, pretty recent maps. They're all from, you know, kind of the EPT era of StarCraft. Eternal Empire, I think that was 2020 or 2021. 2000 Atmospheres was like same era. Cosmic Sapphire, I believe, was the season after Eternal Empires. So they're from a couple of years ago, from like 2020 to 2022 era of StarCraft. But we can feature those maps in this tournament. It's up to our players to pick them. Up to our players. But yeah, it's a nice kind of refreshing way to update the format and update the maps, even if, you know, it hasn't been updated in game. It's a way to liven things up a little bit. And I do miss me some 2000 Atmospheres. I miss it, Papi. I miss it. Good times. Eternal Empire, I have like a love-hate relationship with. I think some of the longest games that I've casted have been on Eternal Empire. I remember casting many like a 1 to 1.5 hour game on Eternal Empire. Like it was not good. On Eternal Empire and Romanticide, that was the season after. It was the next season's Eternal Empire. Rough times, rough times. But here we go. It looks like we are jumping on in. We have our map of choice, and it is going to be one of the current ladder maps. It's going to be Crimson Court. And you know what that means. If you're in the chat, get your gamba going. And get your gamba going. Predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim this series. On the one hand, Nightmare is the favorite player, but so is Cristiano. And Azura popped off. So, again, anything could happen. We have a favorite player, but best of ones, they don't care about your favorite players. And here we go, we're jumping in and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court. We have our blue Terran player from the land of South Korea. It is Nightmare. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have its opponent. We have the Italian Protoss player, the green Protoss representing Bing Bong Exports. It is Azura, aka the #1 Xian fan. Of course he is. Shout out to Xian. Xian, a long since retired player, but back in the day was of course on Alpha X, and so was Azura. They're keeping the name the same in tribute to Xian. Much love. Do appreciate it. As we are going to be moving out across the map. Oh, of course. And Azura is the current king of the hill. We'll see if he can continue his reign, or if Nightmare can strip away that title. For now, 2-gate opener. Oh, A little bit misplaced there, but a 2-gate opener out of Nightmare. Meanwhile, Azura once again setting up for a gate expand. We saw this in the previous game, if you remember. We saw a more economic opener out of Azura, which Cristiano was able to successfully punish. Cristiano, he popped off and he got so much damage done with the Adepts and with the Oracles, which led Azura into going for an all-in. And I'm curious how Nightmare will approach this. Nightmare with the Probe Scout does confirm the Singular Gateway, does confirm the Cyber Core. So Nightmare, his goal, his role here is to delay the expansion and potentially go for a 1-base all-in. Oh boy. Do you have the option? Meanwhile, second gas geyser has been taken, so we should be going for a Stargate before expansion. Zealot has arrived. And do we get the pylon down? Without that pylon, we can go for the Nexus. Yeah, we're building up those resources. The probe is going to be forced back, and we can expand. So Nexus before tech. Quite greedy here from Azura. Quite greedy. And of course, Zaun does confirm he gets eyes on the expansion. And for the time being, Zaun is going to be following up with Adepts to harass across the map. But we don't really have a probe out on the map to go for a proxy yet, so we're going to be expanding. Okay. Respond with the expansion. Nexus on the way. Going to be slightly behind the Nexus of... I almost said down. of Azura. So Azura will have an economic advantage, at least for now. Adepts are coming. They are moving out. Their role, of course, their goal is to shade into the main. But so far, Azura does respond, does wall up, and will defend. So far, so good. Azura is holding. Hallucination Scout comes in. Azura does confirm that there's going to be a Twilight Council on the way, this time not a Stargate. We're working towards Blink. Working towards that mid-game. As Nightmare does bypass the main army. We don't quite make it in. Azura looking for, hunting down those Adepts. Doesn't quite catch them. It is on the way. Azura is going to pull away. It's going to pull back. Adept's going to be threatening a shade. Oh, and I assumed it was going to be for Blink here, but Azura, likewise, is going to get scouted. Oof. We had the Twilight Council on the way. We have Blink in production now. We had a Dark Shrine from Azura, but we forced a cancel. We got a full scout, and that is the power of the Hallucination. There's a reason why Sentry-based openers are so common in PvP. Hallucinations, they make it so difficult to sneak out any kind of tech like this. And Nightmare is just all over Azura. Does force the cancel. Keeping Azura pinned back. Back at home, just building up towards Blink. We have an extra gateway on the way. Okay, so it's going to be a 3-gate setup, and then we expand. Then we take the third. Nightmare taking a more macro approach here. Just calming things down, settling into a longer game. Azura does get eyes on the third. And the question becomes, does Azura go for another 2-base all-in as a response? Just like the previous game. Or do we expand? Oh, I see a Warp Prism. Warp Prism is on the way. Adepts, they shade in! Oh, they shade into the main base. 1 probe goes, and we get 2 probes. And can we get 3? Almost. We barely do. We get, oh, actually 4 probes. Oh my god. 4 probes do full. Gateway explosions on the way. We had a choice to make. Either we expand or we throw down gates. We're going for the gateways. Azura is doubling down. Moving out across the map. We have the high ground. Nightmare getting caught out, bleeding out one of the sentries. But Blink is not done for Azura. Yeah, we can punish him. We blink on 40, focus on the sentries, a Stalker as well. Ooh. Yeah, brutal losses here for the green Protoss. Azura trying to keep up, but Blink is finally done for both players, but the damage has been dealt. We get another sentry. And Nightmare has the economic advantage, has the third base getting up and running. Immortals are on the way. More Stalkers as well. Prism is out, but we weren't able to make use of it. Oh no! Oh my god, okay. Jesus. The War Prism does survive. And it's all or nothing. How many gateways do we have? It's going to be 5 gates for Azura. We have 4 from Nightmare. But he already has a Stalker advantage. He has the Immortals, has no shield battery. That's a little bit concerning. No shield battery, no overcharge. Here we go. We are going to be committing. Good forcefully lock down 2 of those Stalkers, 3 of those Stalkers. The Stalkers are punished, and Azura doesn't have anything else at home to really fall back on. There is no third base. We have to keep going. The Observer does confirm everything. Does spot the rotation. Nightmare going for a backstab. He wants that Prism. Uh-oh. He does want that War Prism. We dive on the Immortal. The Immortal goes down. Again, no shield battery. Gonna force back the army at the same time. Nightmare, he does come in from behind. He gets a full surround. GG gets called, and Nightmare will take game number 1. Will take down Azura, the King of the Hill. GG. GG, well played. Nightmare will take it. Will bring Azura down. Again, was an intense PvP there, and Azura was being cheeky early on by going for a much more economic opener, but unfortunately did kind of stumble his way into his 2-base all-in. We bled out a lot of units before Blink did complete, if you remember, so Nightmare was able to just take advantage of Azura. Likewise, also scouted the Dark Shrine. The Dark Shrine and the DTs didn't come into play. A lot, unfortunately, went awry for Azura, and Nightmare does take it. Congratulations. Again, Nightmare is a heavy favorite, but we have plenty of players that can pose a threat to Nightmare. And up next, we have not a PvP. Oh my. Okay. For the first time tonight, we're going to have a very different matchup. It's going to be a PvT. Protoss versus Terran. Oh my god, they're already starting. I need some time. Do need a moment to set up, but there we go. It's going to be Nightmare versus Nicorette. Once again on Crimson Court. Now, for those who were not here a couple of days ago, where were you? What's going on? But a couple of days ago, we were live with the Sparkling Tuna Cup, and Nicorette is our most recent Sparkling Tuna Cup champion. Fun fact, Nicorette is the only Terran champion for 2024 in our online weekly tournaments, and has been popping off. Did flex specifically his TVP, and we'll see if he can bring it to the table here and now tonight as well. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have our red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicorette. And spawning in the top right, but also setting up for a proxy, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss. It is the current King of the Hill, Nightmare. He is your Nightmare, as the pylon has been thrown down and we are setting up for a proxy. Nicorette typically is the aggressor. Nicorette is typically the player that is dictating the pace of the game, but now the turns have tabled, and instead, Nightmare is setting up for a proxy 2-gate. Oh, at the same time, 2-racks opener out of Nicorette. Okay, this is interesting. This is gonna get a little bit spicy. I think I favor Nightmare here. What I'm referring to specifically is if we throw down the Cybercore, if we reinforce these initial Zealots with Stalkers, the lack of Factory and the lack of Cyclone, it's going to be difficult to defend. But against initially Zealots, I think we're going to be okay. So we'll see how committed Nightmare is going to be, as I'm sure we will soon see that initial tech. The Probe Scout is denied. Nightmare is in the dark. Reaper production has now commenced. We have Zealots on the way. Again, these Zealots shouldn't get much done. They're going to be chipping away at the wall, but with extra Reapers, we should have enough DPS to focus them down. We'll see. Reapers don't have the highest amount of damage output. Likewise, we should be able to scout and come across the gateways as well. Zealots are being chronoed. Cybercore is now on the way. And the Zealots are slowly amassing. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Zealots are building up, and it's going to take a little bit longer here for Nicorette to get a read of what's going on. He's moving out with his first Reaper. The other point, of course, nothing at home to defend. This Reaper, as it gets across the map, as it gets into the mineral line, if we can control well, we can get a lot of economic damage done. And now we know. Now we confirm. Zealots are moving out, and we have to pull the boys to repair. Likewise, the Reapers, they turn back around. Both of them do. There was potential. There was potential for some damage. I mean, shield batteries on the way. Reaper does race back home. Bunkers in production as well. Yeah, we can force back these Zealots, but it's not about the Zealots. That's not what I'm scared about. That's not what I'm concerned about. It's about the Stalkers. Yeah, the Stalker has arrived. And we do focus on the first Reaper. And without Cyclones, without kind of a backbone to this army, the Stalker can get a lot done. The factory is in production. Additional Stalkers on the way. And we are containing the Terran player. The other worrisome thing about this map is that there's only 2 attack paths. Like, there's no way to bypass this. Like, there's mineral walls here, mineral walls here. There's no Reaper cliff. So there's no way to bypass this army and get across the map. There's no way to scout and get into the natural base either. Nickrat is pinned back at home. And we have to wait for the factory. The Reapers can try to poke out, but again, there are 3 Stalkers lying in wait. They're going for the Zealots. Yeah, but we have to respect the Stalkers. We have to pull away. And it looks like we're setting up for a 1-base all-in. We're getting into a 1-1-1. Working towards stim, combat shields. But it's going to take a while for this to really get going. CC is on the way. And yeah, Nickrat is in a rough position here. He's going to be stuck at home. And we'll have to fight hard to even expand and take his natural. Back at home, Twilight Council's on the way. Nightmare working towards Blink. I imagine it's going to be Blink. Technically, like, a cheeky move here would be to head towards DTs, just because we have limited scans. I'm sure we're, like, muling our hearts out right now, or at least we hope to. Meanwhile, add-on swap, not going right into the tank production, going for the Banshee instead. The Reapers, they try to break out, but yeah, there's no way out of this. The Reapers are forced back. Again, only 2 ways out of the main. And Nightmare has them locked down. Reapers are forced back. The Banshees are going to be a nice way to get some damage done across the map and try to get some counter-aggression going. So Banshee does move out. Tank production has begun. There's that sim that we spoke about for the 2-1-1. Meanwhile, Nightmare is now getting up to 2-base economy. There is currently no detection, but the Robo has just begun here for Nightmare. We have the Robo on the way. That's going to be for our Observer. Correct is moving out. And the tank is getting up and running. So far, we get a nice volley off. 1 Stalker goes down. The Banshee has arrived. We get into the mineral line, and probes are falling. We get 2 probe kills. We have the cloak. No detection, not yet. The Robo is still on the way. We don't get many more worker kills because of the shield battery, but we do deny mining time. Deny mining time. At the same time, Marines, they break out. We catch Nightmare off guard. I wasn't looking, wasn't paying attention. 2 Stalkers go down. Yeah, massive pickoffs. Nickrat has broken free. And now we expand, and we can move out across the map. For now, knocking down the gateways, bringing down the production. The Banshee is still alive. Still outside the main. Still does pose a threat here to Nightmare. Some observers are out. Stim is done. Now, one thing to bear in mind is the Banshee does hit the main base once again. Even though we have Stim, we have no medevacs. So every Stim is pretty crucial, and we have to be very careful when and how we Stim here with Nickrat's Bio Army, as he's been spending his Starport production on Banshees, not on medevacs. So we have to be careful with our Stims. We have to conserve them. Likewise, the tanks are up and running. We did knock down the gateways. Banshees have met up. But a nice spread of tanks. We bring down the Stalker. Bunkers on the way, and Nickrat is rotating over towards the natural. Once again, no shield battery quite in position. We can one-shot probes as well. We have potential. We have potential for damage. We are slipping in. And we are getting some damage done. Again, there's only an Immortal and a Zealot. Oh, we can keep going. There's no way to here. But the other Stalkers have arrived, and Nickrat is playing it safe. He gets 2 probes. He backs off. big tank shots going off as well. And now finally the medevacs have arrived. We sim a little bit. Oh, never mind. Okay, we do catch a couple of stalkers, but who is it? There is a little bit of latency going on, and hopefully it's not me. Oh, it is. Oh god. If the players do report any issues, then I will leave the game. As I just had a massive lag spike. Oh. No, I'm gonna miss the game. But yeah, if the players ever... Oh, god. As I'm just gonna make sure that everything is closed. My OBS is fine. I mean, you can hear my voice fine, but my connection to StarCraft is struggling here. So yeah, hopefully everything's okay as we knock down the bunker. Bunker does fall. Nightmare does hit the natural. At the same time, Nickrat is moving out across the map. We're going for a bit of a base trade. Back at home, Nickrat, he should be able to defend. He does clean up all the zealots. At the same time, we knock down the third base, and we're making our way towards the natural. Whew, okay, it was only a lag spike for a moment. Thankfully, we are breaking our way through. Zealots, they collapse in. We knock down the zealots. We're going for the main army, and that's still 3 tanks. Yeah, massive tank shots going off. We take down the Immortal. We take down the Stalkers. Back at home, we have defended a Nickrat. He's breaking through. Is barely breaking through. I say that. We're trying to get on top of the tanks. Oh my god, the tanks, they barely do stand strong. More zealots are on the way, but reinforcements are coming. And Nickrat, he is so close to breaking Nightmare down. But yeah, thankfully my connection in BattleNet is okay. Thankfully. I shot up to 1,000 for like 20 seconds. It's crazy. Did shoot up. Meanwhile, we collapse on top of the tanks. The tanks take a lot of hits, but we survive. The tanks live. The tanks, they barely do live. No shield battery, no overcharge. And Nickrat, he has done it. He's breaking through the natural base. Nightmare barely has anything left standing. We have 1 Immortal. We have a handful of Zealots. And we have a bit of Hopium, but that is not going to be enough. GG gets called, and Nickrat will take the game and will knock down the King of the Hill. GG. GG, well played. I do apologize for the dropped frames that you did see there. Thankfully, it did not affect the players. If it ever did, of course, I'm more than happy to leave the game. It was just a weird lag spike. I legit shot up to 1,000 MS in game. It was crazy. just shot right up. But GG, well played. Fun fact, we have actually not had a single player go for more than 1 win. Like, we've had back-to-back-to-back, like Kings being knocked down left and right. It's been a very competitive tournament so far, just non-stop back and forth, and Nickrat, very nicely done. Despite the kind of rough start where he was stuck on 1 base, he was able to successfully get into a 2-on-1 setup. The Banshee was doing a lot of damage, was able to get some probes, able to keep Nightmare busy back at home. And if you remember, there was a key moment where Nightmare was busy dealing with the Banshees when Nickrat was able to actually catch some of those Stalkers out of the map, able to sneak up on them, focus down 2 or 3 of them, eventually expand, and eventually settle into his own 2-base push. GG. GG, well played. And the question becomes, will the trend continue? We've been trading back and forth, map after map, and can we actually get a player that can go on a bit of a win streak, or do we just keep trading games? Also, I did turn off the camera just in case, so hold on. I'll bring the camera back. I got you, I got you. But I was checking to see, like, if I had any applications open that I could, like, close. So, so I did turn off the camera just in case. See if that could help in any way. But we're back. We are going to be back. And we're getting ready for our next best of 1. It's going to be a TBT, actually. Okay, we're done with the Protoss for now. We're going to be taking a bit of a break from those Protoss players, and we are jumping into some more Terran action. Oh boy, it's going to be a TBT between Nickrat and Moja. Now, is Moja on the team? I do need to double check that, actually. Is Moja on the team? I don't think he was when he was in Home Story Cup. And yeah, the answer is no. Okay, so he is teamless. Jumping on in. We'd love to see it. We go. Are getting ready for our next series, and we already have a couple of players lying in wait as well. I do notice Demi in the chat, the Indian Zerg player. I'm sure he's going to be jumping in at some point in the tournament. I see Hydra as well lurking around. Este Hydra. Do I notice any other players? I see Iba. Iba. He's laddering at the moment. Could make an appearance. I'm sure he will. Just keeping an eye on some of these players that are in-game. I use O&O to disable win features for performance. Interesting, interesting. I might look into that. I mean, I typically don't have any performance issues. It's usually network issues, but maybe it could help. Could help. But it looks like we need a moment for our players to get ready. So we might go on a short break. I mean, we are getting towards that, not halfway mark, but a third of the way mark. This is going to be our 5th best of 1, and we have 15 in total. So we're getting there. We're a third of the way there. So now wouldn't be a bad moment for a short break. Just waiting for our next opponent. Again, Nickract is our current King of the Hill. We'll see if anyone can knock him down. So far, we just haven't really had anyone go on more than 1 game win streak, but this could be our moment. This could be our chance. Again, if you want to help support the tournament as well, OSC, or maybe if you're unfamiliar with OSC, OSC, they've been funding events and hosting events for many, many years at this point. Hosting events like OSC Melee, the Melee Cups, Masters Coliseum, or the Masters Cups as well. And, of course, their seasonal playoffs as well. So, big shout out to OSC. Shout out to Eddie as well. I did see Eddie in the chat. Eddie is the organizer and, of course, the owner of OSC. So, big shout out to Eddie. Gracias. Thank you for all you do. Oh, and here we go. We have our players, we have our map. We were going to go on a break, but it looks like no need. We are jumping on into our TVT, and we are featuring a bit of an older map. If you're an older school player, if you're an older school viewer, then you'd be familiar with this. We're going to be loading into Eternal Empire. It's been so long. It has been far too long. Predictions in the chat are open. Place your bets for this best of 1. Now, what I will say is that Nickract is a more notable player, 100%. I would fully get behind Nickract, but Moja, he is a bit of a ladder hero, and he was kind of floating under the radar for a long time. The most recent Home Story Cup really showcased Moja, and he was able to really flex his skill, and I think I'm pretty sure he got a lot of fans. I became a fan of Moja as well after Home Story Cup, so I would not count him out. Would not count him out, but here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Eternal Empire. We have our Red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes, the current King of the Hill. It is Nickract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the German and Terran player, the Blue Terran, the Home Story Cup extraordinaire, if you will. It is Moja. Moja? Is it Moja? Is it like Mojo? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't heard people say his name. But now we are going to be settling in, and it has been a very, very long time since I've casted and seen Eternal Empire. This is a very large map. I don't know if you noticed. It is a very large map in the map pool, and this map was known for a lot of late game. A lot of hour-plus games. I've casted many an hour-long game on Eternal Empire. An hour and a half, almost 2 hours. This was back in the day of the Stargate like Void Ray meta as well in PvZ. Like this, some dark times were had on this map, and a lot of split map scenarios as well. We do have the Zolnagas in the center to scout the main attack paths, of course. We have these rocks here creating a very narrow choke point outside of the natural. Because of this, the natural is very defendable. Very defendable natural base. Likewise, ramp also leading to the third, also a choke point as well, so a very defendable third base. Taking the fourth is a little bit more exposed. We've seen a lot of players take the more southern fourth base instead and then slowly pushing forward. But because of how defendable this base or this map can be on 3 bases, we've seen a lot of mech. A lot of mech. And I'm not calling mech yet, but I would not be surprised if we see mech at some point between these two. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it. As for now, double gas open. Okay. So Moja's going for an economic Rax expand, a faster CC from our blue Terran. Meanwhile, our red Terran player was the lights turn on. Did you see that? Like suddenly the map got brighter. What just happened? Do we have a day-night cycle on Eternal Empire? Did I just not notice? Maybe. But double gas, faster factory, a much more aggressive start from Nicorette. I heard Turtle Empire. Oh, the Turtle Empire. Let's go. Don't talk bad about the Turtle Empire. They don't take kindly to that. Oh, no. But yes, no, that's true. Turtle Empire. Yeah, that's very apt as well. Unironically. As we are getting to our 1-1-1 from the side of Moja. Same can be said here for Nicorette. We are moving out with our initial Reaper Hellion. Looking for a way in. Moja is in position on the high ground. Oh, we do threaten a dive towards the natural. The bunker is ready. The Marines as well. So far, nice defense here from our blue Terran player. We are going to be holding, and my eyes are definitely on the production here. See what kind of direction we go in. Are we going to be stuck in another hour-long game? Are we going to... oh, no. Oh, I can see it already. Oh, the PTSD, Pappy. The PTSD. Back at home, we do have our starport, of course, getting ready for our drop plate. Medevac is popping out, and we're moving out with our initial Cyclone Marine. We'll see if Nicorette can get some damage done. He has Reaper Hellion on one end, and we have the Cyclone Marine in the other. We're making our way across the map. Moja so far securing himself, going tank Viking. We have Marines on the way, but that could just be for a bit of a buffer zone early on. Nicorette is going to be slipping in, going for the natural, and we'll get a couple of SCVs. Yeah, one SCV does go down. We deny mining time, going for the bunker, sorry, going for the depot as well. And the depot looks like it will barely fall. Oh, it's going to be close. We do get it. Depot goes down, Nicorette backs off. At the same time, Reapers are diving into the main, and we will get a full scout. Yeah, Moja out of position. Reapers slip in. And we will get another SCV. Not bad. Another 2 workers going to be going down, and Moja late to react, late to respond. 3, 4, almost 5 SCVs going down. Oh my god, these Reapers are getting so much damage done. Remember, they don't scale well into a longer game. They don't scale into the mid game, so whatever we can get with them is that much more value. 6 SCVs, the Reapers get out. At the same time, we drop into the natural. This time we're in position. Moja does defend, but Nicorette does get out. Meanwhile, back at home, we're embracing our Raven production, getting into tanks. Moja is working towards Stim, so Moja is playing Bio. Thankfully, we have Bio tank out of Moja. Let's go. Double eBay on the way for our 1-1 upgrades. Meanwhile, from the side of Nicorette, still no major signs. No second factory yet, no second Rex. They're now just building up on 2 bases. And that is a pretty hefty tank army. And Nicorette does have the tank lead. Setting up for his 3rd CC on location. Is going to be thrown down. And here comes the move out. Bearing in mind, Nicorette doesn't just have the tank lead, he also has Ravens. He has Ravens, he has Disable available. He has a lot of potential with this army to break through. To break through a defensive line of tanks. Moja back at home. So far, only 1 tank. 2nd tank is on the way. Now, Moja with his own Ravens, he can go for the counter disable. He can disable the Ravens of his opponents. Second tank is out. Third base on location. And we can force a cancel. Yeah, the tanks are getting within range. We force the cancel. Very nicely done here by Nickracht. Back at home, getting into his own third. Is almost done. It's almost done at this point. Nickracht even dropping into the main. Going for the third base once again. Up, going for the mineral line. Regardless, economic damage. SCVs are going down. Nickracht pushing forward. Doesn't quite commit. As we get another 5 SCV kills, we delay the third base even further. And Nickracht, he's just all over Moja, pulling him apart. Regardless of how defensive this map is, Moja has been struggling to defend. Viking moving out to deny drop play. Nickracht reinforcing. So let's go for the scan. The army is revealed. The tanks on siege, we have the disable. Yeah, the first tank is disabled. We focus on the Ravens as well. Water Towers have been thrown down. And do we have enough to break through? Just one tank in the back line. Boys are being pulled. The disables are about to run out. Up. They're about to run out. And massive tank volley is going to be going off. Yeah, so many SCVs are going down. GG gets called. We break through. And Nickracht will take the second game. Will take down his next challenger. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Nickracht, as he is the first to get more than one win. It's crazy. Also, I should fix this up. There we go. Nickracht is a Terran player, not a Protoss. But GG, well played. Nickracht does take down Moja in a very intense game. Nickracht, he was all over him, able to go for the drop play, able to pull apart the attention of Moja left and right. The multitasking was insane, and Moja unfortunately barely could not keep up with the speed of Nickracht. And with that, congratulations, Nickracht is the first to get his second win on the board. Congratulations. And with that, we are a third of the way through. We are a third of the way through the broadcast. That is match 5 in the books. And now we're getting ready for match number 6. Who's up next? Who is up next? Who will challenge Nickracht for that throne, for that crown? I mentioned before, I saw Eva, I saw Hydra, I did see Demi as well. Baby Marine has come online. Hello, Monsieur Marine. Who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? So we are getting that next best of 1 ready. Also, when it comes to the formats, I didn't disclose this before, but for those that are curious, the challenger has the map pick. There is one veto. The way that it works is the current King of the Hill gets one map veto, one map that they can get rid of, and the challenger can pick whatever map from there. You can go for any other map. That is the advantage you have as the challenger. And here we go, we have it. It is going to be a Terran versus Zerg. Okay, Nickracht, we're getting a little bit of everything here. Game 1, we saw Nickracht versus Nightmare in a TVP. Then we saw a TBT between Nickracht and Moja. And now a Terran versus Zerg. Let's go. As Demi has been lurking in the chat, has been lying in wait. I did notice Demi did redeem a replay cast as well. We will get around to that eventually. We'll get around to it. But shout out to Demi. Varun, if you will. The best player in India. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets. Place your bets here. Will the win streak of Nickracht continue? Or will Demi knock him down and break that win streak? Here we go. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Post Youth, we have our Indian Zerg player, the Red Zerg, representing Match Arena Esports. Our challenger, it is Demi. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the current King of the Hill, the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nickracht. Here we go. Or as in Turtle Terrans? I don't remember this map. You're lucky, the Andariel. You're lucky. But we are settling in. We have seen Nickrat very often embrace 2-Rax Reaper on this map, so I'm curious if he does the same. For now, just going to be an initial Rax opener from the side of the Terran. Meanwhile, Demi back at home going for a hatch gas pool. This is a very popular map amongst Zerg players in ZVT. The reason for this is because of your secure natural base with gold minerals, likewise the eventual gold base as well, and the center of the map is pretty wide open. We have a lot of potential for surrounds, so I'm curious what Demi will embrace. Likewise, this is not a bad map for mutas, and if you're familiar with Demi, you would know that he is the muta king of the sea, and Demi does love his mutas. Whenever he can, he will embrace mass muta play against Protoss, against Zerg, and against Terran. Is a very stylistic play style here out of Demi. So we'll see if he does head in that direction. It's a little bit too early to call muta play, but just saying that it's a bit of a tendency that Demi has. It's something to bear in mind. Behind this, Nickrat is going for the Rax Expand economic opener, or standard opener, maybe what I should say. Just say Rax into CC. Are going to be settling in. The Overlord will confirm. First Reaper's moving out. And we'll see if the Reaper can get anything done. We can, of course, threaten the mineral lines. We can delay the third base. This Reaper does move out. And Demi doesn't have a drone in position to expand. So is going to be contained on 2 bases. A little bit longer. Reaper does dip in. Trading with the Marines. Or Marines? Trading with the drones, I should say. Dancing with the Lings as well. Getting 1 Ling kill. Very nice movement. Very nice control out of Nickrat. Gets 1 Ling. Does rotate back around. But the Queen has arrived and we should be respecting the Queen. Up! The drone! 1 drone goes down. Big pickoff. We get 1 Ling. We get 1 drone. And there is still no third base. Behind this, Nickrat going for a 3rd CC before starport. Economic follow-up here out of Nickrat. And Demi, how long are we going to be staying on 2 bases? Now we have the 3rd base on the way. Hatchery gets thrown down. And we'll see what Demi does take into. But now we're still just droning, still building up our queens. Starport has been thrown down across the map. Reaper does dip into the main, but is forced out. The Reaper looking for another way in. Meanwhile, with this tech lab, it looks like we're going for an add-on swap, so it looks like 3cc Banshee here out of Nickrat. I mean, he's not afraid to invest into battle cruisers, but we're not really set up for that. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the add-on swap. So there we go. Banshees are going to be on the horizon. Meanwhile, back at home, Demi's still droning up. Fully saturated on 2 bases, getting towards his 3rd. And Nickrat is in position to try and delay that. Keeping an eye on that 3rd base. Keeping an eye on Demi. Demi, meanwhile, does confirm the 3rd CC timing, does also confirm the cloak is aware of the Banshees. Demi is aware. Nickrat doesn't quite commit, not yet. Still looking for a way in. Getting a couple of tumors. Tumors 2 goes down. We have a bio transition out of this. We have 2 more Raxes. Just a 3-1-1 setup here from Nickrat. So far, everything's looking standard. He's just kind of gaining map control and vying for map control with this Hellion Banshee. And so far, doing a good job. So far, just making sure that the creep doesn't get out of hand. So Banshee does hit the main. Meanwhile, it's going to be a lair opener out of Demi. Going for the lair first, taking all of his gases. That's a lot of gas. All 6 gases have been taken. At the start of the game, we did talk about Spire play. We spoke about the mutas, and this feels like mutas here from Demi. Otherwise, we would see extra Evo Chambers. We would have Evo Chambers on the way for upgrades. What else is all this gas going to be spent on? It has to be the muta. Let's go. At the same time, Hellions hit the right-hand side. The Queens are able to keep up. Or are they? do threaten the mineral line. We don't quite commit. 2 drones go down. A lot of creep as well. Again, the creep is only connecting the bases. We don't really have much of a map presence. Meanwhile, the lair is done. The gases are being saturated. And where is that tech? Hellions going for a dive. Oh, and it's going to be a one-way trip. Yeah, we do overextend. The Hellions are going to get surrounded. Nice movement here with the Hellions, but alas, the Lings will clean them up, or at least they should. 3 Hellions will escape, and there it is. There's the Spire. So it is going to be muted play out of Demi. Again, this is not a bad map for it. We're on 3 base saturation, 4th base on the horizon. Again, the Hellions have done a great job of just keeping the creep at bay, and that means that Nickrack is building up towards his 7-minute push. Once Stim kicks in, once 1-1 kicks in, there's going to be a very strong timing here from the Terran player. Building up towards 1-1 Stim, and a massive biotank push. And I'm concerned that Demi won't have enough to defend. The biggest concern, of course, is that Demi's ground army is lacking upgrades as a result of his tech, as a result of the Spire. We have no 1-1. We have no melee upgrades, no carapace upgrades for Demi. It's going to be vanilla Ling Bane and Queens. And here we go. Here comes Nickrack. Moving out across the map, looking to knock down that 4th. And the hatchery is going to be denied. That's a kill! Ooh, that's a kill, not a cancel. A massive pickoff on that base. And that is all that Nickrack wanted. He brings down the 4th. He backs off. He rotates. And Demi's hurting. Demi's hurting quite a lot here. Demi has a high drone count, but he's long distance mining. He needs a base, needs a double expand. You can see Nickrack, he's knocking down the would-be gold as well. If Demi was double expanding, we would knock down the hatchery for a second time. And Demi is being contained. Catching an Overlord. And these mutas have a lot of work to do. They need to counterattack across the map. They need to get some kind of damage. Back at home, no turrets. We are not ready for muta play, but we do have Marines. And the mutas do reveal themselves. The mutas say they do reveal themselves here against the bio. More reinforcements on the way. Nickrack, he responds with turrets. And missile darts being thrown down in every single base. And Demi is re-expanding on the left-hand side, but Nickrack, I don't think he cares. He's pushing in. Making his way through on the right-hand side. Demi going for a massive counterattack, but again, he already showed his hand. If there were no turrets, then I would favor this, but it's not going to be easy. Same time, Nickrack is pushing in. Dancing with the Ling Bane. We have plenty of reinforcements back at home. Mutas, of course, back. We do get a couple of SCVs for 1 muta. And Nickrack, he's gaining ground. He's slowly pushing forward up the ramp into the base. Into Demi. And Nickrack does have the supply lead. More reinforcements are on the way, and Nickrack, he's looking to snowball out of control. Yeah, we have to evacuate the 3rd base. Well, brutal loss here for Demi. He's knocked down to a 3-base economy. Not even a 3-base economy. As we have no gases, once again, the muta's going for a counterattack. Back at home, we don't have much left to defend. It's mainly here at the main. Maybe get some SCVs. Going for the turrets. Turret goes down. The turret does fall. SCVs as well. Finally, some good damage. But it may be too late. It may be too little too late. That is a lot of Ling Bane, though. If Nickrack overextends, if he does overcommit and moves a little bit too far out of range of the tanks, then Nickrack could lose a fight. But the stars have to all align for Demi. As mutas, they hit the main. They get another mineral line. We are forcing Nickrack to all in. That's a lot of SCV kills. And Nickrack getting knocked down to 42 workers at the same time. We collapse on top of the main army. Banelings, can they get on top of the Marines? Oh, they cannot. They barely cannot. Ay, ay, ay. The tanks go down, but the Marines, they stand strong. And GG gets called. The man with gun overwhelms, and Nickrack will take the game. GG. GG, well played. Nickrack does break through, does overwhelm. Unfortunately, the muta play typically needs to be a bit of a surprise. It needs to catch the Terran player off guard. And if you remember, Nickrack was not ready for the mutas until they showed themselves. If you remember, they did reveal themselves against the Banshees, and once we saw that, we got our turrets ready, we got our Marines ready back at home. Eventually, the Mutas did do damage, but it took far too long. It took far too long for the Mutas to pay for themselves. By the time they were killing workers, Damon was dying. It didn't matter in the end. Nicorette was just gaining too much ground. It was already in his face. GG, well played. GG, well played. Nicorette does take it. And with that, goes on an even longer win streak. Oh boy, here we go. Nicorette takes down one Southeast Asian Zerg player, and it looks like we're getting ready for another. Oh boy. A bit of a treat here. We rarely get to cast him nowadays, but it is going to be... My bad. I may have pressed the wrong button. But it's going to be another Terran versus Zerg matchup. It's going to be Nicorette versus the King of the Sea himself versus Mio Micah. Let's go. Let us go. Just need a moment to set that up. And Mio Micah is a very different beast, very different kind of player. I mean, he's a cat, true. He's a big cat. And I do not expect a standard game. Not at all. I expect chaos. I expect pandemonium. I expect a lot of nonsense here as Mio Micah, he has chosen his map. And we're going to be loading into Ghost River. Oh boy. A very small map in the map pool, very short rush distance. Aggression is favored on this map. And we'll see which direction this goes. We'll see how chaotic we get. We go. So we are jumping into our next game. Into our 7th match, I believe, of the night. And jumping into our 7th match. Again, I always do appreciate being able to cover Mio Micah whenever we can. I appreciate it. There was a time when we would cast Mio Micah on a weekly basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. But that was back when we hosted weekly Oceanic tournaments and Southeast Asian events as well. Nowadays, less so, unfortunately. Likewise, Mio Micah is less active as a player as well. He is a little bit less active, but still willing to show up here for these weekly OSC King of the Hills. And it looks like we have our lobby. You can hear the beeps. We're jumping into our game. And if you're in the chat, predictions. Get your gamba going. Predictions are open. Let's go. Amazing names. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Ghost River, we have our current King of the Hill. We have the red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicorette. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player, the Teal Zerg representing Team Gosu. I'm willing to hold his beer while he plays. God damn it. It is Mio Micah. I'll work on the name. Hold on. I have teal. I do. Bam. There we go. We'll fix that up as we're settling in, and it is going to be a pool first opener out of Mio Micah. Now, something to bear in mind is that Mio Micah is a very aggressive player, but he's usually aggressive in the mid game in ZBT. This pool first is usually a bit of a safety pool first. It's a way to wreak a little bit of havoc, but to get into a longer game. I'm going to say that we have seen Mio Micah go for roach rushes before. That is going to be an available option here for Mio Micah if he wants to go for a faster roach warren. But for now, it's going to be a pool into expansion into gas. So pool hatch gas here from Mio. SCV Scout will confirm. With this, we should be making 6 links to get across the map to delay the expansion. We'll keep an eye on Mio and how many links he does invest in. As the queens are on the way. And we don't save any larvae. Okay, Yeah, no lava is saved, we're just droning. So once again, as you did mention, even though it was a pull first, safety pull first. Very safe pull first. It means that we will defend and will be safe against something like a proxy 2-Rax Reaper, or I should say proxy 3-Rax. Not necessarily Reaper. But against proxies, we'll be safe and we will be able to settle into a longer game. Again, Miyamika is willing to open up inefficiently just to be safe. And likewise to mind game his opponent in the longer series as well. As Link Speed is on the way, but this is the first big sign here for Miyamika. He is not pulling out of gas. It is very common, very meta to pull out of gas once you have Link Speed, but that is not the case for Miyamika. Oh, good. That's the probe. As the drone barely does not go down. Reaper does confirm additional gas mining, and this should be for a fast lair. This should be for 2-base lair. Miyamika is known for a very iconic build. He's known for 2-base Hydra. Known for Hydra play. I imagine that's where we're headed. We'll keep an eye on where that gas is being spent. No, we're going for the Roach one. Ooh. We at least attempt to. Reaper does dip in. And we'll delay the tech. We get into the mineral line. The drone is going to be going down. We get one drone kill in the main. Reaper will get the hell out of there, and the Roach Horn is successfully hidden from the Reaper. Uh-oh. So it looks like it's going to be a 2-base all-in. It looks like it's going to be a Roach Ling or maybe a Ravager Ling all-in from Miyamika. He's still mining gas, and we are not taking into a lair. So it's going to be off of Hatch Tech, and Nickrat, he only has a piece of the puzzle. Nickrat is in the dark, and Link Speed kicks in. And the problem is with Link Speed, we can chase away the Reaper, which means we do not scout the Roach Warren. Meanwhile, back at home, 1-1-1 opener, safety bunker on the high ground, bit of an overreaction, but I love the Banshee on the way. The Banshee is going to be ideal against Roaches. So very safe play out of Nickrat. He goes 1-1-1 before the 3rd CC, so very safe play. I think this is very smart, especially against Miyamika, but is it going to be enough? Because here comes the all-in. We have Lings, we have Roaches. The scan reveals the Ravagers. Oh my god, very important scan here from Nickrat. Second bunker's on the way. We're getting ready. Getting ready for the aggression. The Lings are getting roasted. Bunkers on the high ground. More Lings going down. And the Banshee has arrived, and this Banshee has to focus down those Ravagers. Yeah, the Roaches and Ravagers are going to be forced back. And Miyamika is droning. Miyamika, he knows he can no longer... Yeah. He knows he can no longer end the game. He starts droning, and we're too far behind. With that, Nickrat takes another game. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Nickrat does take it. Again, very safe play out of Nickrat. He had a safety bunker on the high ground, bunker on the low ground. Went for a delayed 3rd CC. I wouldn't say he was hard countering. Oh, now maybe I would actually. In a sense, kind of hard countering the build of Miyamika. Even though Nickrat didn't even see the Roach Warren initially, didn't even know what was going on, because he knows how aggressive Miyamika is, and because Miyamika has a reputation, it does lead to some more safer play, and as a result, Nickrat was able to shut him down. If Nickrat was going for a standard opener, if he was going for a 3rd CC before Starport, then Miyamika would have a lot more potential for damage. As we saw, not the case. Not the case in the end. GG, well played. Nickrat will take it, and we're getting ready for our next series. Let's go. Again, when it comes to Miyamika's playstyle, he thrives when his opponent plays standard. If his opponent ever deviates from standard, whether it's aggression or safetiness, that's where Miyamika can struggle a little bit more. As he's a little bit less able to dictate the pace of the game. And with that, we're getting ready for our next series, our next best of 1. That was quick. It was quick. That was a fast game. Oh. Here we go. We are getting things ready. And we will see who our next opponent's going to be. Do we have another player here on the Americas? Do we switch over to Land of Europa? Where are we going? Oh, and we have our answer. It is a player that I mentioned earlier when I was looking at who was lurking around on the European server. I did point out a couple of players. I pointed out Demi, I pointed out Hydra, I pointed out Eba, and I also pointed out another Terran player. A younger Terran from the land of Italy. You know who it is. It's going to be Baby Marine. Let's go. Baby Marine is coming up next, and I will have to relog. One moment. Heading over to the European server. Now, we were able to feature Baby Marine earlier today, if you were here for ESL Americas. If you were here for Americas, we were able to broadcast the other one. Baby Marine. Papi, Baby Marine. I mean, we were able to cast both of them today. True, to be fair. We did cast both Battle Bee and Baby Marine in ESL Americas. And we were able to feature them both against Mixu, if you recall. Mixu did pop off this morning against those Terran players, and we'll see if Baby Marine can have a little bit more success here in the TVT matchup instead. We shall see. As predictions are now open, and we are jumping into our next game. And can Nickeract be stopped? He is on a very, very solid win streak right now. He has won the most games out of any other so far in this week's OSC King of the Hill. Can the King be brought down, or will his reign continue? Let's go. Seeing the chat to Poriforian, Azura, Nick. Yeah, we've had a lot of upsets, mate. Best of ones. They're crazy. Very intense game so far. We've had some crazy upsets, but despite the caliber of players that have been signing up, that have been stepping up, it is our blue Terran that has been reigning supreme. But we'll get to him. We will get to him. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our red Terran player from the land of Italy. We have our new challenger, Baby Marine. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the current reigning King of the Hill with 4 wins under his belt. Can he keep going? Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Nickeract. Here we go. And he has been on a tear so far. And he was already able to flex his TVT earlier against Moja, but here against Baby Marine, we'll see. We shall see. As for now, double gas opener. Double gas opener out of our red Terran player, likewise double gas out of our blue Terran as well. We are going for mirrored builds for the time being. With double gas, we're going for faster factories. This can lead into Reaper Hellion, can lead into faster Cyclones, can lead into a faster drop play. Keep an eye on our players as SCVs are moving out. Oh, also my apologies. I will fix up, there we go. Fix up the player names. Look, I have to change them manually whenever a player has a different name in game. I have to change it back. Smooch. But I'm on it, I'm on it. I got you, I got you. Oh. So we are going to be settling in. There's that factory follow-up, as we did mention. Both players are embracing that. Likewise, both players, I believe, denied the scouts. Yeah, we were able to fully wall off. Oh, the boop! No head boop. As SCVs, they do pass by. And for the time being, we're going to be embracing these Reapers. Reapers, they can check our fringe third base, or our close by third base locations. Nickeract moves out. A bold move. As Baby Marine, he does shoot first, and Nickeract has to back the hell off. The Reaper being low, but the Reaper should not go down. Will be able to escape. Will get away. It is considered unsafe to move out with your first Reaper in TVT because of this. Like, the defensive advantage is quite real. There's a lot of choke points, a lot of ramps you can take advantage of as well. It's very risky. Thankfully, Nickeract is not punished. He does pull away. There's the expansion on the low ground for both players. We do see Baby Marine going to be embracing faster Cyclone production. Meanwhile, Nickeract going for Reaper Hellion. Okay. So Nickeract with that initial Hellion, he will have a stronger defense early on, but he's going for delayed Cyclones into drop play. So we're going to be calming things down and getting ready for those medevacs, getting ready for those drops. Expansions are on the way. see Babe Marine just checking these fringe or these third base locations, making sure there is no proxy. There is no shenanigans going on. And here comes that medevac. Interesting, we do see a delay on the medevac, or no medevac whatsoever, going for the starport, going for the tech lab instead. Okay, so Baby Marine is going to be the defender initially, working towards the tech lab into either Raven or Banshee production. Curious what direction we head in. Yeah, tech lab also on the way on that factory. Raven is on the way. Meanwhile, Nickracht will be the aggressor with that drop. Just waiting for that second cyclone, then moving out with the drop. With this, we can go for some economic damage. We can pick away at some of these key units. We can see Babe Marine is lying in wait, ready in the main base for any kind of drop play, any kind of aggression. So the pressure is on Nickracht here to get some damage done. Not just because of the drop, but likewise, he's going to be down in Raven production. He's going for a Liberator follow-up. Likewise, Nickracht, he's going to be down in tank production as well. There's a lot going for Babe Marine at the moment. There's a lot going for him. Medevac slipping in from behind, trying to creep up on that main base, into the mineral line, and a late reaction out of Baby Marine. Yeah, delayed reaction. We do get 3 SCV kills. Very nicely done. Oh no! Ooh, as we overextend. Oh my god, and the medevac goes down of Nickracht. A little bit too green. He does fly too close to the sun. He gets burned. At the same time, Reapers will get a couple of SCVs here towards the natural, but that was a big loss for Nickracht. Ay, ay, ay. Initially, he did well, but yeah, it did zig when he otherwise should have zagged. And with that, Cyclones go down, and Babe Marine, he's setting up for a massive counterattack. What do we have? We have 2 Ravens, we have 2 tanks. We're up in Ravens, we're up in tanks. We are up in army supply, and Nickracht, he's in a lot of trouble. Oh boy, sure, we have a tank, we can disable it. Disable or interference matrix is done for Baby Marine. You can disable the tank. Likewise, we will most likely have to pull the boys. Nice initial tank shot goes off. Okay, not bad. Tank volley goes off, Liberator to the main. We get 2 more SCVs. And Babe Marine, he pulls back home. Okay. wait, we survive. The Red Terran does pull back home. Liberator will distract him. We'll get some more economic damage, delaying mining time here at the natural. And Nickracht will survive. Again, things are looking very tense and a little bit scary there for the Blue Terran, but does make it out. Likewise, Liberator still wreaking havoc in the main. Distracting Baby Marine. Third CC is on the way, about to finish. Meanwhile, do we have a third base from the side of Nickracht? We do not. Okay, no third base in sight. Going for additional Raxes, additional Marine production. Reapers do slip in, and Babe Marine does get a full scout. Does confirm the production. We're even getting a couple of SCVs as well. But this is going to be a very dedicated move out here from Nickracht, just considering how delayed the third base is. And the goal of this move out, I imagine, should be to delay the expansion of his opponents, and to expand behind it ourselves. We'll see. So Nickracht does move out. Yep, there it is. Third base is now on the way. And this is all about making sure that Babe Marine is stuck on 2 bases. Sure, he has a fast third, but that won't matter if he cannot actually take that third base and mine from it. Nickracht is moving out. Looking at the army tab, Nickracht is up in tanks. He's got 5 tanks on the 4 of his opponents. What Babe Marine has, though, is air control. Vikings. We have Vikings and we have Ravens. So we have a little more micro ability with this army. To pick away those tanks, to pick away at the libs, at the medevacs. Nickracht rotating around, his army is spotted. And again, as a reminder, Nickracht does not want to push into the natural, doesn't want to go for the kill, doesn't want to try to. He does creep up the Raven! He does creep up, the Raven does go down, a massive pick off. Raven does fall, we get 5 SCV kills, and at the same time we drop into the main base. Oh my god, I was like, Nickracht doesn't have to go in, but he is! He sees an opening. He has control of the ramp, he has control of the production. Yeah, Babe Marine out of position. Oh my god, but the Master Sable! Yeah, the power of the Raven. Tanks are going to be going down. That's a massive loss here for Nickracht. At the same time, we get into the mineral line. SCVs are falling. But is it enough? This was a bold move out of Nickracht and a little bit unnecessary. We didn't have to go for the dive, didn't have to go for the Doom Drop, and with the help of the Vikings, we clean everything up. We shut down the medevacs, everything goes down. And sure, Nickrat, he has a third base, but was it worth it? Scan reveals a third. Babe Marine, he will soon move out. Meanwhile, Viking drop into the main. A little bit desperate here. Nickrat just trying to buy time. Does get one SCV, gets two. Two SCVs go down. Nickrat moving out once again. Again, Nickrat, he's doing everything he can to try to keep Babe Marine at home and delay the third. He is making his way over. Likewise, the Red Terran getting in position. Once again, Viking drop towards that natural. We do find a tank. Not bad. Ooh. Tank goes down. The Ravens don't have much energy to work with. Likewise, Vikings are going to be zoned away. And Nickrat, he is able to get a high worker count back at home. Getting into the greater economy. But Nickrat, he is down in tanks. I mean, after losing so many, that does make sense. The base is getting low. CC under fire, but Babe Marine, he's ready to break out. Nickrat, he does pull back in time. Marines have a right. Ooh. We cannot quite break in. And Nickrat has to get the hell out of here. One of these tanks is going to go down. Do get another tank kill. Again, Babe Marine, he has double the tank count of Nickrat. But he's stuck at home. He is going to be stuck at home. Nickrat has map control, getting a fourth base on location. Babe Marine still just establishing his third. And again, Nickrat just doing everything he can to be in the face of Babe Marine. Rotating once again. Viking drop towards the natural. Cheeky move. Is cleaned up. 4 CC on the way. Babe Marine, he's securing himself. A stronger tank line. And Nickrat does have to back off. Whew. And now finally, after a very intense couple of minutes, we can breathe. we can take a moment to breathe. We can take a moment to just calm things down and take stock. So Nickrat will have a faster fourth, true. He does have the better economy, and the supply does lie currently. Even though Nickrat is up in supply, that's a lot, or that's mainly in Marine. He is mainly in Marine here, as Nickrat has 59, soon to be 60 Marines with his main army. Because of this, he's very mobile. He has a lot of dive potential, that is true, but in a head-on fight, I do favor the Red Terran instead. As I say that, we do catch a lot of Marines out. Ooh, that's a big loss. A lot of Marines do go down. Likewise, Babe Marine, he does commit up the ramp, and he's catching another tank as well. The tank goes down, reinforcements as well. And we're going for the planetary, going for the economy, going for whatever we can get. And so far, this is well worth it for Baby Marine. Getting the entire mineral line, oh my god. 18 SCVs go down, we cripple the economy. And just like that, Baby Marine, even though he's on 3 bases, is ahead in that economy. Soon to be getting his own 4th base. Nickrat was also being active with his own Marines, but was unable to find any damage. This was a risky maneuver from Baby Marine just because he had no map control, but it paid off. He caught Marines, he got a tank, he got a mineral line, he got a lot. And so with that, we now have a 4th base on the way. And I worry because Baby Marine is going to be the first to max out, and he will have a slightly better army. Now, as I say that, even if you're down in army supply, even if you're down in tanks, you can pull off a defense in TVT. It's all about positional play. Like, your opponent might even have like 20, 30 supply on you, but if you have a high ground, if you have a tank line, you can defend, you can make up for it, and you can survive long enough to max out. So Nickrat is not out of this. Not yet. Does scan the 4th. Does spot a lot of exposed tanks and no turrets. Tempting. Very tempting to drop on top of this. As the Marine army is over on the right-hand side. Nickrat likewise rotating. More starports on the way. It's going to be from Mass Viking for air control. Babe Marine just refining his force. Going for a heavy tank Viking base composition instead. And here comes the unsiege. Here comes the move out. Uh-oh. And Nickrat does not spot this. He's out on the map. We could try to go for a backstab. We could try to collapse on top of this third base and try to drag the Terran army back home. That's the hope. That is the hope. As the Marines, they stim on forward. They get on top of the tank. The tank is going to go down. Baby Marine, he doesn't turn around. He keeps going. He keeps on pushing. He's going to lose the base, though. A lot of SCVs are falling. But he finds his way up the ramp. Yeah, big disable as well. Baby Marine is gaining ground. Across the map, he will lose the entire mineral line, and Nick he's getting ready for a surround. And comes in from behind. He gets a full surround. The tanks are exposed, and we get every single tank. Oh my god. The tanks go down. The Vikings as well. Where were the Marines? Exclamation mark Funada, these Marines, they would know where they needed to be. They were behind the tanks, not in front. And with that, every single tank goes down. The base as well. The third base has fallen, and Nick he's back in the driver's seat. We're back in this. We're more than back in. We're ahead. And we're moving out across the map. Baby Marine, he was doing so well. He was actually doing so well. Despite the start. But now he's down a base. He's down in tanks. We are down to how many? 6 tanks remaining. For Baby Marine. Now, how do you beat tank lines? Man with gun, papi. That's all you need. The Beyond style of play. Forget about the Vikings, forget about the tanks, just go mass Marine instead. That's what Beyond is known for as well. And Nick does do his best impression. Hey, who cares about Vikings? They can't shoot down, they have to land. True. Marines, they shoot up and down. It's crazy. As for now, we're going to be rotating Baby Marine. He's going to be restabilizing on 3 bases. He does retake his third. Nickrat is maxed. He's up 30 supply, but as I mentioned before, it's now applicable to Nickrat as well. Pushing upper ramp into tanks is not easy. It is not going to be easy, but there's only one tank. Well, there's only one tank. The tank does go down. Planetary holds on. Well, that's another tank falling. And Baby Marine, he does reposition, does rotate around. Now, Nickrat, he needs to trade. He does need to trade. He has to make use of that greater army. For now, Baby Marine, he's catching up in supply. Baby Marine, he is catching up. Nickrat rotating over, looking for another way in. Center tower's finishing up. And we're stabilizing. We're getting there. We're stabilizing at this point. Nickrat will be up a base, and he does have the better economy. That is true. Baby Marine is holding his own, and he did retain a lot of his Ravens. Getting back into Raven production. It's going to be 5 Ravens here for Baby Marine. He's down in tanks, but the Ravens do make up for that. As Nickrat is still sharking around. It looks like Nickrat is hoping to catch the army out on the map. Which does make sense, but Baby Marine, he's not taking that chance. He's taking another base, taking another expansion. We're gonna be here for a while. We're gonna wait. Strap yourselves in, Bobby. Strap yourselves in. We're hunkering down. We're taking another base. Once again, we have the high ground. We have a very defendable location. It's very difficult to push up a ramp into this location, to this base. And Nickrat is gonna try. His army is revealed. Baby Marine does rotate. And we cannot push into this. No shots. Not against this many tanks. To get within range of the turret, or the tower. But this is why Golden Aura is so... We see a lot of late game on this map. The reason for this, ramp coming into the third, ramp and choke point coming into the fourth, ramp coming into the 5th base as well. Like, these are very defendable and very difficult to push into. These low ground bases are more exposed, and that's where kind of the major fight's going to be occurring. Speaking of, the main armies do clash. And massive disables here. Every tank is disabled. Oh my god! Nickrat, he gets caught out, and we're going to lose every single tank, every single Marine as well. This was not the fight to take. The power of the Raven coming in clutch for Baby Marine. Nickrat, just like that, does lose map control. It doesn't look like he was expecting a fight out on the map like that. And the base is going down, and Baby Marine very quickly snowballing out of control, pushing towards that 4th. Going for a Doom Drop. Oh my god. We do have a couple of turrets, but not too many. Viking does arrive. We do drop in. Yeah, we're going for the kill. We're going for the production. Massive drop into the main base. The tanks do siege up. GG gets called. We go for the kill move as Nickrack was getting into BC production, but no BCs available. And Baby Marine, he brings it back. He will be your new King of the Hill. GG. Whew. A very intense game. A very intense game. I was getting ready to just, like bring up my feet, get ready for a longer back and forth for a split map scenario, but no, Baby Marine, once he maxed out, he went for the kill, he went for the fight, able to make use of those Ravens. Again, as a reminder, Nickrack, he was teching into BC production. He had extra starports finishing up. Yamato was on the way. We were working towards battle cruisers, which is the ideal in the late game, but we weren't quite there yet. And again, Nickrack, he was not quite ready for a fight in the middle of the map. Not quite like that. Was caught out. GG. GG, well played. Baby Marine will take it. But a shout out to Nickrack, because even though he goes down here, it was an amazing game. It was very back and forth. And also, we had a very nice performance from Nickrack as well, having a very, very long win streak, more than any other player so far. So no shame in that. GG, well played. His run does end, and the king is dead. All hail the new King of the Hill. Let's go. All hail the new King of the Hill. It is going to be Baby Marine advancing on. And the question becomes, who is his next opponent? God damn it. My apologies. Oh, it's going to be a rematch. Okay, if you were here earlier this morning, you would have been here when we casted ESL Open Cup Americas. And during that event, we did actually showcase these two players in a best of 3. It was a very intense best of 3. It did go the way of the Zerg. We'll see if Baby Marine can get his revenge. I was alluding to that series earlier. It is going to be Baby Marine versus Mixu. Let's go. Again, Mixu did 2-0 Baby Marine in ESL Americas, but that was a best of 3. This is a best of 1. It is going to be the best of 1 instead. Let's go. Catching up. Oh, my grapes. The grapes, man. Baby Marine is also Rainer's younger brother. He is. It's his younger brother. True, true. Nickrack is the young goats. Ah, not wrong. What time is the tournament today? Yes, it did begin a couple of hours ago. Just under 2 hours ago. The Marines are just babies, papi. Ah. Oh, the rhymes. Calm down, Cyberjump. Calm down. But looks like our players just conducting their vetoes and getting their first map ready for us. We are going to be jumping into our next TVZ. Again, it is going to be that rematch. Let's go. Let us go. And as a reminder, again, it's going to be Challenger picking the map. So Mixu, he's going to be rising to the challenge. It is going to be his map of choice. And I'm curious if we load into Post-Youth once again, or if we go into a bit of a different direction instead and go for a different starting map. We'll see. We shall see. As a reminder as well, we are almost 2/3 of the way through the broadcast. We're here in match 9, and there are 15 matches in total. 15 best of ones. We haven't doubled up yet, but if we do run out of players, then we can revive some players. We could see a return of Night Phoenix. We could see a return of Nickrack. It is possible if we eventually run out, but we still haven't gone through a lot of the even Polish Protoss players. I'm referring to Ziomek, I'm referring to Rodzin, Papi even, Geralt as well, Art, the other Art, or all the arts. So we're still We still have a lot of Protoss players lying in wait, I'm sure. Likewise, we also have players like Young Yakov or potentially Wayne, potentially Max Pax as well. We'll see who comes out of the woodwork. See who does come out. I'm calm as I can be, being in a heat wave. Yo, I'm so celoso. It's so cold here in Australia. It's freezing. It's been a problem. It was not this week. Last week I was trying to ladder. Like every single ladder session that I had last week, I could barely, like, it hurt to macro. like it hurt to use my fingers. Like it was just so cold. My fingers are freezing, papi. So I hope you're enjoying the heat elsewhere in the world. As it looks like we have our lobby of choice. Did just need a moment to set up, but looks like we have our lobby, and we're going to be loading into Site Delta. Let's go. Are going to be loading in. Oh, true. Don't forget to hydrate. The cold weather is causing internet problems. Copium. Yes, don't forget to hydrate, drink plenty of water. And of course, posture check. Posture check in the chat. We are jumping in. We're getting to our next game. Here we go. Predictions in the chat. They are now open. Place your bets on who you think will be our next King of the Hill. Is this the beginning of a win streak for Baby Marine? Or do we go back to the back and forths that we had previously and kind of trade that crown around and don't let it settle? Here we go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Site Delta, we have the Finnish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Berserker Esports. It is Mixu. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Italian Terran player, the red Terran, representing himself, the current King of the Hill. It is Baby Marine. Whew. Let's go. A very intense TVT earlier. Now we can calm things down a little bit here in the early game of TVZ. Now, Baby Marine, he does have quite a bit of experience now. Recent experience with Mixu. I'm curious if Baby Marine is going to try to adapt, try to adjust against his opponent. As I'm getting a bit of deja vu, because these two players did play on this very map. Did play earlier today on Site Delta. Let us go. As for now, it is going to be a hatch gas full standard opener from our Zerg player. Likewise, Baby Marine back at home going for the Rax expand. Nothing too crazy here in the early game. No proxies, no 2-action Reaper, no gas first. We're just kind of easing our way into our Terran versus Zerg. Now, what we did see out of Mixu throughout the course of this morning in a multitude of TVZs that we did see him in was just Ling Bane play. We saw Ling Bane into Ultra, Ling Bane Hydra, into Lurker Tech as well. Didn't really see Mixu embrace mutas too often, or at all really. I mean, muta play can be quite difficult in this matchup, especially at this level of play. Mutas, again, are ideal as a surprise. Outside of that, they're quite difficult to really gain value and get damage done. So I don't expect anything too crazy, especially on a map like Site Delta. The map is quite wide open, quite large, a lot of attack paths. It's that much easier to get surrounds and to lock down an army. As the first Reaper does make its way across the map. Likewise, drone is in position, Mixu ready to expand. The dance between the Reapers and Lings has begun, and we do pick away one Ling, not bad. One Ling does fall, third base has been thrown down, and Mixu will defend with his Queen. So not a bad pickoff out of Baby Marine, getting a Ling. Oh, going for the Tumor! Doesn't quite get it. Tumor does survive. Behind this, third CC is on the way. It's going to be a third CC before Starport. Very economic follow-up here out of Baby Marine. very, very economic. Getting into his 1-1-1. Now from here we can go into Banshee play, we can go into Liberators, into Vikings. Ooh, the tumor does go down. Nice movement here out of Baby Marine. He does escape. Gets the tumor, gets the hell out of there. Does manage to escape. And we'll see what Baby Marine does go for, as he is going for the Tech Lab. We are set up for an add-on swap. Tech Lab is done, add-on swap is on the way, and we headed into Banshee production. So just pretty standard play, 3cc Banshee out of Baby Marine. With this, he will have Hellions to gain map control and to delay the creep spread, of course. Likewise, Banshees can threaten the natural, can threaten the mineral lines. Can threaten the economy here of Mixu, and likewise shut down Roach play as well. Meanwhile, as Baby Marine is being active, as he's threatening a dive, we do have a big Ling counterattack. Uh-oh. Yeah, the Lings are set up. There's not much of them to defend. Hellions are about to pop out, as they're revealed here to the Queens. Yeah, Lings, they pull the trigger. They head into the main. Yeah, they get the Marine. Marine goes down. We get a full scout as well. We get eyes on the Banshee. We don't get much else. The Hellions will defend, but that does pull back the Terran. Forced to defend back at home. It's forced back for a moment. Mixu, meanwhile, going for a lair first. Rushing into a lair, followed by, I was going to say Bailey Nest. There we go. Bailey Nest also on the way. Very safe opener here out of Mixu. Not rushing into Evo chambers, not rushing into upgrades. Going for the lair, into bailing speed, into the mid game. So easing his way in. Likewise, Baby Marine throwing down extra Rexes, landing his third